Awesome.
So it's super simple. Sorry, I don't know. It was so loud.
I was
just saying something.
Oh, I was just saying the stuff that you told me, but you go ahead, girl.
Okay, so the materials are really, really minimal. Again, sorry, I'm on a construction site. But basically, have something to mix in. Get some concrete. Now, there's a lot of different types of concrete out there. Some like really big aggregate that you would use to like put in a fence post. That's not going to work so good in our molds because if you get a piece of aggregate in one of these pieces, you have a giant rock and it's not going to form well. So get something that doesn't have any big gravel in it. Higher strength is probably better just because there's so little. It'll make it stick better. So the more Portland cement it has, the stronger it's going to be. Basically, you want to take your dry mix. Usually you want to put water in first since I'm going a little backwards. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to have some concrete caked on the side. So add some water to the concrete.
Beautiful.
There we go. I want it to be a little like stewy. Like I don't want it to be too thick, you know, but I also don't want it to be like a soup because then it's going to take forever to rock and roll.
Yeah, and then you'd have to fly cross country like 4 times for it to cure. Yes.
And I might have put too much water. But basically, a trowel would be great. But you just want to mix up the concrete.
So I'm mixing some up here in my tiny little bucket. And I've got this yummy deliciousness. Does that look good? It's like oatmeal. Not really, actually.
Shouldn't be that lumpy.
But honestly, I mean, just getting this little bit of concrete mix, it's so fast. Add a little bit of water. And I had my 7-year-old help me do the water pouring because I knew I could always add a little bit more of the Portland cement into the mix.
Yeah.
If you poured too much water in. So, it's so easy, and these little molds are so awesome. So, do you think I'm good to put into my little mold bin?
Yep.
And my baby mold men.
What did you say?
My baby mold men. My little Lego minifigure guys. They are so stinky cute.
Your little guy is gonna play with all these, right? They're like your little toy soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love the concrete egg thing too because you know how my husband Mark does Spartan races, those extreme obstacle course races? He does those. So he runs up a mountain and competes with other men and they throw a spear and do all kinds of feats of strength. So I think that we're going to do Easter with concrete eggs, like an Easter egg hunt with concrete eggs this year. Because we're tough like that at our house. Not me.
How did you...
So what are you...
How thick are you doing yours?
What do you mean?
That's pretty good. I'm going to try mine a little soupier this time. Because last time I did it a little thicker, like kind of like peanut butter thick. And I'm just wondering if I do it a little thinner, if it's going to fit into the mold just a little smoother. So I'm going to give it a shot. But basically...
with all of that detail that you have, it would fit in a little bit better.
With all the what?
Oh, those details that you have with those pretty little flowers?
Yeah, I love... The flowers are my favorite. I mean... Do you want to see the finished one, or do you want to keep me pouring?
Keep going. You keep pouring, and then we'll do finish. Because yeah.
Sorry, you got the whole cooking show element down. I'm still like, yeah, what am I doing?
Well, we just want to be able to like show steps, and then too, it's like with these forms, like I overfill. Is that kind of what you would do?
I kind of overfill, and
then scrape.
Yeah, I overfill, and then you can screed the top.
Mhm.
This is a little soupier than I did last time, but I think it's going to work well as long as you give it an appropriate dry time. But it's just like candy. Oops.
So how long would you let it dry for?
At least overnight with the mix that I'm using. But if you have like a quick setting concrete, it could be ready within like half an hour. But quick setting concrete's a little more expensive. Not very much more expensive, but when you're talking like landscape size projects, it adds up quick.
Yeah.
Stuff like this, nah.
And you can get them in smaller little buckets too. Like you can get Quikrete at the home improvement store in a smaller bucket if it's faster setting, I think, right? Is that right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can get small little buckets. Another thing that I want to do is I want to like push out any air pockets. This is really soupy, so it's pretty solid. But if it was a little chunkier, I might be a little more concerned. And I actually do this when I'm pouring concrete into a hole in the ground. I do this with a shovel, so I'm kind of just doing the same thing on a small scale, moving out any air pockets and then to settle in.
I have to say, Sarah, this is such an awesome thing to do. I'm just thinking about my son, Jack, who's 7, and to like understand the concept of how to create concrete and what do you mix together on such a small scale so that like in his future when he's like doing a fence or he's doing something else, he understands sort of the concept of what is this? This is such a really good like, yep. I love this project.
Totally. No, I mean, well, what I like about it is it's super simple and it's like permanent art. Everything I like to do, I like it to stick around. So, so I went ahead and screeded the top. It's just basically like landscaping on the Mini.
So for people that are watching, screeding is she's just sort of taking off all the stuff that's sort of like overfilled a little bit and smoothing it all out so it has a nice smooth finish.
And I want to shake it just a little bit, again, getting the air pockets out. If I was pouring like a concrete countertop, I would get a hammer and I would just hit the side of it just to kind of create that undulation that kind of help move the concrete down. But since these are molds, I can just use my hand and shake the whole darn thing.
Because you're giant.
Yes,
you're a giant when you're dealing with this kind of concrete.
So I'll let this go ahead.
No, you go ahead. So I want to see what you made your finish. I'm gonna pop out some of the men that I've.
Oh yeah, pop them out.
I'm gonna pop them in. See how I did. I did these earlier today. Oh, he doesn't look that great. He looks cutish. I can clean him up.
What are you gonna name him?
Gosh, I don't know. I think that we have to decide what color they're gonna be first, and then they'll be like Fred and Bob and Joe. Or Mark's from Massachusetts, so it's Marty, Marky, Lukey, Tommy, or something. He always says something like that. And then the big guy.
Can we name one Henry?
Hi, I'm Henry. I want to be as handsome as Copper Henry. Hello.
That is so cool. I love that you painted them. I didn't even think to paint mine. I'll show you what I have, and I actually might paint one because I have everything here right now. But so the flower molds, this is what it looks like here. I'm gonna wait 24 hours before I pop that out. But here are some of the other pieces that I have that are adorable. Like, look how cute that flower is. Oops.
Oh my goodness gracious. That is so precious.
It's just adorable.
So like I'm thinking, like, you paint those, and then you could put them in like a vase or something outside, and then it's like a beautiful outdoor decoration all year round.
Totally. So I